I was told you brought a gossip for me. Is that true?
Is it true?
It is true. I have it in my pocket.
Oh my gosh, it's a physical gossip?
It's a physical gossip. Okay.
Kelsey McKinney is a reporter and writer in Philadelphia. She's a co-owner and features writer at Defector.com and the founding host and writer of the podcast Normal Gossip. She's the author of 2 books, the latest of which, You Didn't Hear This From Me, is now a New York Times bestseller.
Hey, welcome to Book Pong. I'm Becca Grishow, and today we are here with Kelsey McKinney. Kelsey, how are you doing? You're in the middle of your tour for You Didn't Hear This From Me. How are we feeling?
I'm feeling tired, but I'm so excited to be here with you. I love beer pong. I love talking about books. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun.
I think so too. And when is the last time you played beer pong?
Oh, really good question. The last time I played beer pong was actually with our shared agent, Dana Murphy.
Perfect.
She has a very long table in her basement that is not, this is like a true regulation beer pong table, I think, like maybe even Olympic. And hers is just a regular table.
Well, this is book pong. It's very similar to beer pong, but you will notice there is no beer on the table.
Awful.
So you have written this book, which I adored.
Thank you.
And I know that you would love to talk about it today, which is great news because we have 6 cups here with 6 questions about the book, the process of writing the book, more serious questions that maybe you would want to answer.
Great.
Unfortunately, I don't really want to talk about the book. I want to talk about anything else and sort of a lot of stupid stuff.
Hell
so
yeah.
that's what we have over there. And when I make a shot, we're gonna do that question instead.
I love that.
All right.
So fun.
And so I'm thinking whoever bought the beer pong table should go first.
Interesting that you want to give yourself an advantage.
Oh, well, you're
immediately.
welcome to go first.
But I accept. You can
You
go
accept?
first.
Okay, all right. All right, okay. All right, okay, right away! The front one is the easiest to get, but still.
We should, okay, let's see. Here we go. Oh, wow, I'm impressed that you got this so fast. I was told you brought a gossip for me. Is that true?
Is it true?
Your handwriting is so nice.
Oh, thank you.
That's very beautiful. It is true, I have it in my pocket.
Oh my gosh, it's a physical gossip?
It's a physical gossip, okay. This is a gossip that was given to us on tour for the book. So it's fresh.
Exclusive.
Here we go, you ready?
Yes.
My sister and her fiance got a new puppy, but their apartment didn't allow dogs.
Oh.
Then they got a letter from a neighbor saying that the neighbor knew about the dog and was going to report them to the management. My sister freaked out and decided that she had to move.
What?
She didn't want to get rid of the puppy, right?
Well,
She's like,
that's
I
fair.
gotta keep my puppy. So she tells the management, like, I'm gonna move out. Don't worry. Then the sister comes over to our mom's house in tears, telling us we have to move. You know, the management said we have to move because we have a dog. The other sister wrote the letter as April Fool's. She got her.
To be planning a whole move. Wow.
I know.
That's juicy.
April Fools, you can't trust your sister is the moral here.
That is true. All right, your shot. Oh, it's all right.
I was like, I swear to God, if you were like pretending to be bad during warm-ups
No.
and then you just were straight sinkers, I was gonna be furious.
I wish I was good enough to pretend to be bad. No. Okay, see, I told you, the front cup is the one. All right, cool. So, Kelsey, you cover so many types of gossip in this book. Urban legends, conspiracy theories, political and celebrity gossip. Did anything get cut?
Ooh, that's a really good question. You know, stuff did get cut because I am kind of a writer where I write really long and then I just like slash things out. I ended up cutting a lot of like anecdotes. Like originally in the book, I had a lot of anecdotes that were like from my personal life. And one thing that's hard about a book like this is balancing like which parts are memoir and which parts are like including studies and including examples from the real world. And so I ended up cutting a lot of the personal stuff from other chapters because I was like, well, I want it to have a kind of rhythm where the reader doesn't get like too bogged down in that stuff.
Right. And that's interesting because that's one of the things I love the most about this book is the balance that you strike between, oh, we're getting to know Kelsey McKinney. This also could be a textbook used in communications courses. And it's also just a good time.
Yeah,
So,
I love to have fun.
And I love form. The balance is perfect.
Thank you.
Kudos to your editor.
Thank you so much.
There you go. Okay, see? Queen. Okay, so there is some masterful use of metaphor in this book.
Ooh.
At one point, you describe your childhood ear surgery, writing, "I wonder if they could have taken it off entirely, set it on ice like an oyster to wait."
Yes.
Stunning. First of all, are you like so proud of that line?
Yes, I'm extremely proud. So thank you so much for pulling it out and highlighting it. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I like had to set the book down, and
Thank you.
because it's no joke, you can write.
Yeah.
So is there any background in poetry in the Kelsey McKinney lore?
No, I'm terrified of poetry, to be honest. It's
Okay.
you get so few words, and I find that very scary because I'm like a vomiter. I'm like, here's 8,000 words that I wrote about this tiny little question, and then I cut out like 6,000 of them, and then we have 2,000 good words.
Sure.
And poets are like, you start with 600 words, and then you end up with like 15, and I'm like, it's too economical. I don't believe in that. I'm a maximalist. What are the re-rack rules in this game?
As soon as we're down to 4, you may re-rack it in, which you are, in any way that
I would like to re-rack, please.
Yes. In what way?
Like this?
Like this?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Zipper, I think, is
Zipper.
normally what I would call that, but I don't know.
Okay, terminology.
That's
Sports broadcaster. Love that for you.
How did you know? I know so much about baseball and nothing about any other sport.
We lost it. We had it for a second.
We had
there.
it.
There we go.
See, you have it. I have never had it, I don't think. Oh, okay. So this is about the book. It's a little bit silly,
Okay.
but also very real. On February 3rd, 2025,
Oh, geez.
you posted on Threads, "The thing they don't tell you about publishing a book is that it's a great hack to lose your damn mind."
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Speak on that.
100%. Well, publishing a book, as you will know, it is a massive undertaking. And what's really crazy about it is you spend years working on something, right? And you work on it all by yourself. Like you're in your room, you have your editor, it's all very quiet and very private. And then suddenly it's just like released to the world in the way that I think publishing an album would also make someone insane, because suddenly you have to deal with the like repercussions of your actions, which is like, oh no, now people are gonna see this thing that I made and interact with it. And that is like a really hard transition to make. And also there's just a lot to do. So it's like, I was just doing a ton of stuff in the lead up to the release of this book, doing tons of interviews, like this, but more boring. And a lot of them were like, I felt like, have you seen that video of Lady Gaga that's like a supercut of her on the press tour?
Have I seen it?
Where she's like, there can be 100 people in the room that don't believe in you.
Maybe there is right now. It's like the one. Oh.
Yes, I literally felt like I was losing my mind. And so I was like, and you know what? I can't stop tweeting. It's a disease. I have Poster's disease, and it's uncurable.
Yeah. I don't think I know anybody before releasing a book who isn't like having a bit of a crisis.
It makes you lose it.
There's so much happening, and it's the only thing you're thinking about.
Mm-hmm. Being seen is bad.
Yes, true. And yet here we are. So,
yes. There it is.
Okay.
All right. What do we have here? You stepped back as the host of Normal Gossip at the conclusion of the most recent season. True. Wrong answers only. What's next for you? Okay, wrong answers only.
Yeah.
So I'm a big baseball fan.
Sure.
I have a season pack to see the Phillies where I live in Philadelphia. And so what's next for me is I'm on a shared iPhone Notes app that is a competition for how many hot dogs you can eat over the course of the baseball season. And last year I came in second, which I find very embarrassing. So what's next for me is I'm going to win this year.
Perfect. I'm really glad that you're pursuing that full time.
Thank you. Somebody has to.
Yeah. And I will be, cutting that out of context and, letting everyone know that that's
good.
That's what you're up to.
Good. And I am. Would you like a re-rack since you were
Oh my
at
gosh,
4?
you're right. Yeah, let's do them all in a straight line. Which I have to ask, what do you have a terminology for that? We call that bozo buckets.
Who's we?
We, the collective. Like, I feel like going to school in Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, because Bozo Circus was Midwestern. And then when we were out in California once playing and I requested Bozo Buckets.
Everyone was like, what are you talking about,
What
girl?
are you talking about? Yeah. So I didn't know. I was like, does Bozo Buckets make it out to Texas, out to Philly? No? Okay.
Nope. I've never heard it, but it does look nice.
Yeah. Very orderly. Oh, swish. All right. So true to form, there's anonymous gossip in this book, sort
Yeah.
of sprinkled throughout. In the beginning, it seems like maybe it might be you, Kelsey McKinney, the one speaking to us.
But it rapidly becomes clear that it is not. Yeah.
Are these gossips from your personal collection?
So no. So first off, I love epigraphs. Like it's like one of my favorite things in a book is to see like what quote someone chose for the first part to like intro you and set a tone. It's why I love Moby Dick, because Herman Melville was like, what if I simply chose 100 epigraphs and put them all at the front of the book? And you'll just read all these quotes about whales before we get into it. And I love that. It's such a power move. So I was like, I wanted the book to have a flow. And some of the transitions are pretty stark. Like sometimes we're going from talking about like whisper networks and the Me Too movement into talking about like Britney Spears. And so you need a moment to kind of like breathe and be ready to transition. And so I solicited these from people. I was like, I'm looking for gossip in these categories. If you have them, please give them to me. And then they did, and I put them in the book.
That's
so
really
special.
nice.
Yeah, I really liked it. It was a fun thing to do.
Oh my gosh. And also, I can't imagine having my gossip land in your book.
It's so
that's
fun.
so fun.
It's so fun. One of my favorite ones in there is about a dinner at Red Lobster. And I love it. I like DM'd this person to be like, thank you for your gossip, but also then what happened?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Can you convince me to move to Philadelphia in under 60 seconds?
Can I get a timer? Go.
Okay, we have 3 types of sandwich that are like fundamental to Philadelphia. We have a cheesesteak, we have a cutlet, and we have a hoagie. Oh, sorry, 4. We also have a roast pork sandwich.
Okay.
4 sandwiches. That's incredible. The rent is still low, which means there's tons of little shoppy shops and tons of restaurants, which everyone likes.
Okay.
It's a huge sports city, but you don't really have to know about the sport. It's more about like the community at large. So like the Eagles were just in the Super Bowl, and that's just like a tack on. You're like, have a good day, go Birds, right?
Yes.
Like it's just a beautiful unifying thing. What else can I tell you about Philadelphia? You can still smoke inside at some bars, which is exciting. Yeah, how are you convinced yet?
I'm pretty persuaded.
Okay,
yeah.
great. I love
Great
that
work.
for me. Welcome.
And she didn't even need the whole 60 seconds. Yeah, this feels like a very big year for you between the release of the book and
Oh yeah, I had a
Birds
crazy
win.
first week because it was like the Eagles went to the Super Bowl on Sunday and won, which meant then I went to Broad Street and was like watching people shoot off fireworks in the street at like 11:30 p.m. And then Monday I had a book party. Tuesday the book came out and we did a show in New York. Wednesday we did a show in Boston. Thursday we did a show in DC. Friday Super Bowl parade. It's a miracle I'm standing here.
yeah. Because what are you gonna do? Not participate?
What am I gonna do? Not go to the parade?
No, of course
Crazy.
not.
You have to go.
You have to. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, it's a miracle that
I
you're
know.
here.
I'm very brave. Did you play sports growing up?
No. I have always wanted to be a writer, actually. I've always been a nosy bitch.
Not even
I
close.
related very deeply to the parts in the book about being the gossipy church girl.
Sometimes you are.
Ooh. I went to church twice a week. We had like the Wednesday and Sunday, which miserable.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But it was great because I went to a church where nobody went to my school. I went into the town over.
Oh, so you had a separate social group.
And so then I could bring gossip like from my town to the church and then also like get gossip from the other school. It was amazing.
You were like a traveling merchant.
Yes.
Traveling tea merchant even. Okay. If you could gossip with anyone, living or dead, who would it be? There's so many options here, right? Because it's like you can, living or dead means you have all of history.
That's true.
You have the option of picking like Lee Harvey Oswald if you just like want information.
Yeah.
But I think maybe I would go like very old royalty and pick like Cleopatra.
Okay.
Because I'm like, she had multiple lovers. She was having fun. She had a lot of money. I'm like, there's probably a lot there that I could learn.
And really the only stories of Cleopatra we're getting are not from Cleopatra.
Her. Exactly.
So
they're coming from
account.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
What about, do you have an answer for that?
Oh my gosh. Oprah, I think.
That's a really good choice. Yeah, she knows a lot.
Yeah. And I really loved Oprah as a kid. I think some of it was the Chicago of it all.
That makes sense.
And somebody who...
Oh! Wait, it wasn't your turn.
Oh my God, you're right! You get
Doesn't
two
count.
shots. You get two
Doesn't
shots.
count.
Doesn't count, and you get 2 shots.
Well.
I got excited. You can tell that's a woman who was. Oh,
She was amped.
that was a woman who was training in her
Yeah.
house with the bowl of 100 of them, just
Like, boom, boom.
yeah, just all over the apartment. Brutal. Gosh. Okay. Down to 2 though on each side.
I know, it's a good game. There it is.
Okay.
Wow,
Give
nice.
it to me.
Okay. As a fellow author, I know writing a book can be a goblin activity for raccoon girls. Correct. What was the worst meal you ate while writing and editing? Sorry, what was the worst meal you ate while writing and editing? You didn't hear this from me. I don't know if you consider sour strawberry belts a meal.
A meal of sorts, certainly.
You might consider them that.
I would say when I am writing, I would often consider that a meal.
Are you a morning writer or a night writer?
I'm a night writer.
Yeah, me too.
Or like, I would love to be a morning writer. The light in the apartment is so much better.
No, I think if you're like goblin night writer, you end up in a weird place where it's like if you've eaten breakfast and lunch, then you can get away with eating like 6 Triscuits and a basket full of candy for dinner,
Yes.
and like no one can really stop you.
Exactly.
Which is nice.
But now I'll have to take
probably.
a look. Oh, there
Hell
you go.
yeah.
See, tied it up. Okay, so real Kelsey McKinney fans know that this is not your first book.
Yes.
You were already an author before you created Normal Gossip.
True.
Your first novel, God Spare the Girls, was released in 2021. Did your experience writing fiction help you in anonymizing gossip stories for the podcast?
Yes, that's a really good question. And yeah, it did, because a lot of writing fiction is you're imagining a whole world. And I had a really great editor for my first book, and she was always saying like, I need to see the 4 walls, right? I need to know exactly where these characters are in order to feel really connected to them. And in an audio medium like a podcast, that's even more important because you're trying to hold people's attention. And so you want to be able to tell them like, here's where they are, here's what they're doing, here's how she looks. And that's the same skill. And because I scripted all of the podcasts, it was a writing gig.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Yeah.
A lot of people who listen to Normal Gossip might not think of you as a writer because
And honestly, that's the greatest compliment. So like script an entire like 3,000 word script and then read it and people be like, she just talks like that.
yeah.
It's like, great, thank you. Believe that.
Yeah, and you really do sell it like you're talking like it.
Yeah.
You're not reading, because there are podcasters that
You can hear the reading.
Mhm. And I don't blame them.
It's hard to read.
Yeah, it is so hard to
It's
read.
hard.
This was not
Your
hard to
phone's
read.
right there.
I know. I read this in a weekend. I was so thrilled
Oh,
to
that's
have
really
it.
nice. Thank you.
Okay, it is my turn.
It's your
right?
turn.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yes, I can't make that mistake twice in the same game. Season of Survivor.
Mad.
Well, it's not good. Here we go. You'll get one last shot though afterwards.
She did it.
You gotta prove it. But
Okay. What was the worst part about writing this book? Honestly, I think it was editing it. I had a really bad first draft of this book because
That's how
I
it
think
goes.
it was really hard for me to conceptualize of the book as something really different from the podcast. And so I wrote the first draft as like kind of a merch book almost. And then I was like, this sucks. It's not good. And so then I had to rewrite the whole thing before I even gave it to my editor.
Right.
And so then at that point, it's been through like 3 drafts in my terrible brain. I gave it to her and she was like, this isn't great. And I was like, you're so right, babe. We fixed it. And I'm really proud of what we ended up with. But yeah, the editing was brutal on this one. I had a hard time just like getting my brain into it in a way.
Well, yeah, because it's not a book that has a blueprint. You're
Exactly.
really creating something from scratch. You're deciding what the balance between things is.
Yeah,
You're
and
deciding what the topics are.
And it's such a broad topic that you run the risk of getting really repetitive. Like you don't want to just be like churning the same idea over and over again. So it was hard, but we did it. Well, good game.
Good game. Very good
It was a good game. Good game.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This was
and
a pleasure.
It was so much fun. I would love to have you sign my
Oh my
copy
God, I would
of
love
this.
to.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for playing.
This
I'm
was
so sorry
fun.
you lost.
Congratulations on your first win. You're
Thanks.
1-0. We'll
Yeah.
see how it goes with everyone else.
Yeah. Is that a threat?
Yeah.
Perfect.